I'm sorry I missed a little bit there. I'm really glad that it apparently kept recording. It's crazy because I noticed my recording had been 0% upload the whole time, and all your guys is at 99%, which is great. But I did just want to talk about a little bit, maybe the current government shutdown, everything that's going on right now. You know, what do you guys think about that? Let's just throw that out there. How about let's go with New Luke on this one? What do you think? Government shutdown. Is it a left thing? Is it the Democrats that are shutting it down? The Republicans claim it's the Democrats. The Democrats claim it's Republicans. The Democrats are currently saying that the Republicans themselves, they're not agreeing to the bill essentially because they want to take health care away from all Americans. The Republicans, on the other hand, from what I can collect, they are saying that the Democrats themselves want health care for illegal immigrants. And that seems to be the back and forth currently right now with the government shutdown. I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct on all that, but what are your thoughts? New Luke, we'll go with you, then we'll go right to Becki.
I think that's always like this silly thing that doesn't exist is the
government shutdown.
No, I'm saying like, it's always the Mexicans. The random Mexicans and Venezuelans that are taking their jobs, that were just giving their It's not true.
That there's illegal immigrants in the United States that do get free health care, you're saying is not true?
They don't.
Yeah.
I believe there's loopholes. I wouldn't say they just get free health care, but there's definitely loopholes.
Right. Like, if we're talking about loopholes, I mean, I'm sure that there's, billionaires and, all kinds
They
of
don't
people.
have to worry about free health care.
You're right.
They got fucking billions of dollars.
Like, are we talking about loopholes? Why are we worried? Why are we always punching fucking down? Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not. I mean, honestly, on this podcast, very podcast itself, the first one back, we talked to a farmer out in Georgia. Pecans and peaches are their main thing. Or out in Georgia, they have migrant workers, and he came on and just wanted to clear up a couple of things about migrant workers. He said typically they make $16 an hour. It's not the $5 an hour that a lot of what I saw from the left and a lot of left friends of mine, who's going to pick your fruits and veggies for $5 an hour? I'm like, well, that seems racist as hell. Like, why would you want anybody to work for $5 an hour? I don't. I think people should get paid a reasonable wage for what they work. But he clarified that they do. And then he also clarified that is one way for them to get into the country legally. I think he said it was an H-2A visa is what all the migrant workers worked under. And that does allow them to get into the country legally and then not go back necessarily sometimes. But, not to get into that. There's a whole episode on that. But they are here. There are certain loopholes that they can get. I mean, certainly emergency health care, but I think we can all agree on, if a little kid, illegal or not, he breaks his arm, he goes to the emergency room. Yeah, we should probably take care of that. You can't just leave a little kid with a broken arm. There's humanity involved here, but there are loopholes. There are temporary status for them to get certain health cares and certain this or whatever. And that's all I'm saying is the Republicans are claiming that, and they're claiming that that's what the Democrats want. And they can't agree on that. And then the Democrats are claiming that the Republicans want to raise healthcare even further, which is just going to cause people like me to just say, fuck healthcare. I'll just take the gamble of not having it.
I'll help you out with that.
Yeah. And that's why I'm very interested in that.
It's not as much of a gamble as they make you think, I promise you.
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
It's not.
Well, I mean, Israel has free healthcare.
We pay for it. We suck.
So...
all right, just like if Israel has like free college and free healthcare, and we can't even do it.
Yeah.
What's
Becki? What were you going to say, Becki?
So I was going to actually break it down what the Democrats are actually fighting for. Right now, there's 12 million Americans that get the American Health Care Act, the Obamacare subsidies, and if this continuance happens without the Republicans signing that the American Care Act credits will continue, then 12 million people's health care will go up by at minimum 30, but upwards of 300% starting November 1st. So right now, the Republicans are trying to keep it shut down. And this can be proven by Mike Johnson coming in today announcing they're going to close it for another week without any debate or any discussion. The illegal aliens getting health insurance is literally written only for emergency care and nothing else. They don't qualify for the ACA. They don't qualify for health insurance unless they want to buy it. I guess maybe they can, but it's not government funded. Aliens can.
Only Reagan.
So aliens can, and that's a huge distinction that people really need to understand, is there is a huge difference between aliens, immigrants, and illegal aliens. And so what the Democrats are saying is if they don't fight, come November 1st, 12 million people will not be able to afford their health insurance. And that's something that, I mean, even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is somebody who normally gives me the heebie-jeebies, she's saying she cannot let Georgia, who has upwards of 1 million people on the American Care Act, as of 1 month from now, not be able to afford their premiums if this goes through as it stands.
So are we talking about healthcare as a whole, like the cost of healthcare,
Yes.
or are we talking about the
Health insurance.
cost of health insurance?
Health insurance.
That's where I get confused.
Yeah, so it's the American Care Act right now. You get subsidies based off of your income. So a family of 4 making $80,000 a year might pay $700 a month. And so come November 1st, that might go up to, and people have been showing it, people have been showing their letters coming out, it's going up to $2,000 a month. That's for a family that makes $80,000 a year.
So does that actually mean the cost of healthcare itself goes up, or is it just the insurance?
Health insurance. And health insurance doesn't cover your deductibles, it doesn't cover your premiums, it doesn't cover your copays.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so I had a period of my life just recently, a few years, where I did not have health insurance, and I did notice such a detrimental difference in the bills themselves. They were cheaper. They were much cheaper.
They are
It cost
considerably
me
cheaper.
it cost me $100 to go to urgent care just for a random thing. And it was like $100 plus my scripts. And then if you use the GoodRx coupons on your prescriptions, you know, it was like $20 for my scripts. So like $120 for a random visit for just a random thing you would just go to, you know, urgent care for, whatever. I went to urgent care just recently, and that same exact, pretty much very similar visit, you know, it was the same type of stuff. It was, you know, $176 or whatever. Yeah. And then insurance only covered X amount. And then I had to still pay, even being insured, $60. And then I had to pay for my subscriptions or my prescriptions, which were equal to what I paid. And then I get hit with an extra bill for like $20. It's like, in the end, having this health insurance, which my work does pay for, but I imagine it's a couple $100 a month. But in the end, having full paid health insurance, which I'm paying for monthly, it only saved me like $20 for a normal.
For me, it wouldn't save me anything. I did the math. It would be $20,000 out of pocket for me and my kids if I bought it through my work. But we don't have chronic conditions. I mean, I do. I have asthma, but I don't need insulin. I don't need cancer treatments.
Sure.
And that's kind of where right now in America, the narrative is you have to have health insurance. I actually grappled with depression for a while because I felt like a bad parent because I didn't have health insurance, despite the fact that I did everything. You know, when you were saying, I'd walk in and say, I'm self-insured, and my bill would be cut in half immediately.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous, but it happens. And so, but most families, I mean, how, like me, I can't get the word out to 24 million people tomorrow that there's options out there. You know, like nobody's willing to talk about that. And
well, you start small.
I know, but so what? Basically,
and then they'll throttle us, and it'll never get out to anybody.
Oh hell no! I can't go against big insurance. The narrative, in my opinion, there's 3 different narratives going on. The Republicans did come in today and say, we're keeping it closed for another week without even talking to anybody. That happened in the House. So you can look that up if you don't, if you doubt that did happen. They will not talk. Secondly, the Democrats are not fighting for illegal aliens. They're only fighting for people already on the American Care Act to have that credit extended. And then if you want to get a little conspiracy theory with me, this is all in Project 2025. This is intended to happen. There you go.
I mean, very well could be.
It's in there. It's just like Mein Kampf. Hitler wrote out what he was going to do, and then he did it. And Project 2025 wrote out everything we're going through right now, and it's happening. So that's kind of where, this is why when I was talking earlier about elections and how I don't have a lot of faith in it, I don't think we're seeing any more elections, but I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to sit here with you a year from now and be proven wrong, but I don't.
I've said the same thing about 2028. I just don't understand how it's even going to happen. Like 2028 elections, I don't know what the hell goes on at this point anymore.
No. And I'd love to have a conversation with people like you guys at some point maybe start trying to get us a little out there and like what is the answer? Because it's not what's happening right now.
No.
That's pretty much where I stand, and that would be why I can't even say I'm leaning left at this point, because there is not really a consensus on the left as to what it even means to be left, other than we want people to have health insurance. That's literally
Most
it.
Americans are in the center. Most of us are in the center.
Problems with the left.
Yeah, that's why I don't like to be.
That's a lot of the reason why we do this. Like, we would like to have these conversations, and I would like to just thank both of you for coming on so much, because we have not had a left-leaning view on here since we restarted this show, since the Charlie Kirk assassination. In the past, you can go back and look at our shows. I try to have a pretty even keel panel, and I do my best to be in the center, but I've had, Democrats, we've had, gay Democrats, we've had bisexual, liberal communists on this show. And I intend to keep it that way too. I want to see these different views, because we can have civil conversations and we can talk. And the one thing that I find is most of us are really true centrists. We really are. We're not so radical one way or another. We really aren't. The media makes it seem that way. Your algorithms make it seem that way. They make you want to hate the opposition, and that's what I'd like to break through. Good luck to us trying to do so, because they're probably going to throttle the hell out of us with a show based on trying to do that, trying to have conversations. We literally took a Christian and a Muslim and put them together and had a conversation about faith on the last episode. They don't want that out there. But you know what? They had a great conversation, and they're now friends, and they appreciated each other's point of view. And that's what we're here to try to do.
That's the more that we can speak on, it sounds so glitter bomb, but the more we can speak on unity and the fact that we are all.
She's firing on us.
We get 85 years maybe on this earth if we're lucky. Like, why are we spending it trying to just deprive others or fight others? Like, I run. It's no hidden thing. I talk about running all the time. And in running, people often have this mentality they're not good enough, or they can't do it, or they can't. And the whole community gets together and encourages the people, whether they're running a 2-hour marathon or a 6-hour marathon. And like, that's what we need. We need people who are just going to encourage you. Earlier, older Luke, you were talking about jobs and the job situation a little bit. And
we're taking our jobs.
What are our kids? What are our kids' jobs? Like, you know what I'm saying? We have to come together and figure that out. What does this next generation even have coming up for them?
Well, that's a conversation for another whole entire show, because currently, right now, we have like people in college right now that are just like, they're spending college tuition studying for jobs that won't exist. Like, especially with AI coming out, there are people right now spending $100,000 in college for jobs that will not exist.
And I will say, AI can be a huge tool. So I'm not anti, but I'm not pro. I just like,
it's scary. It's scary as hell. I mean, we're definitely going to have full on show topics on that. You guys, I just want to say, both of you newcomers, Luke and Becki, you've been extremely cordial. You guys have been awesome. We have plenty of more members on this show. We're going to have more. And I just appreciate it so much. So yeah. I just want to end this with, let me get your final thoughts on it, on what we talked about. We'll start with new Luke, your final thoughts, everything we talked about tonight. Just why don't you give me a whole, a consensus on your thoughts, what you'd like to say, anything. I'm sure it'll be piled in a short. The shorts, they'll be all over. So,
like, as a former preacher and
you say former preacher?
Kind of like round it out. Yes, true story.
Okay.
We believe in the good in people, and we do good to other people even when we don't get it back. That's how we're supposed to be.
Morals.
And it doesn't have to be God. It's just, hey, here is some way in which I can help.
Sure. And so, you don't need religion to do that necessarily, to have good morals. I feel we needed religion to teach us good morals, maybe in the past when we didn't have good morals. But now that we're here, I don't think we need it anymore. So I agree with that.
Damn it, Joe, you're interrupting.
I'm sorry. Let me let you go, brother.
No, you're good. Hey, do good when you can. Be kind, and when you're an asshole, learn how to be humble, work on it.
Yeah.
Every day. Big Luke.
For sure, man. Makes sense. And then with that, I will get Becky's final thoughts, please. Becky, what do you think about this whole conversation we just had?
I think it's been a great conversation. In a world that's being harder and harder to be optimistic about every day, just getting on with 3 people that one I know, but 2 I don't, and being able to have a conversation helps a little bit. I feel like things are a little bleak at the moment.
Sure.
Every day has been a little bit of a struggle, and the more we talk, the more we discuss, the more we understand each other's views and kind of break through the narrative that's being pushed into our faces every day, the more we can see that there is hopefully hope. I want to be more optimistic than that, but it's been hard.
Yeah.
But just hoping that we can all pull this back to a place of peace. I mean, I don't think the country's ever been peaceful per se, but just get us to stop hating each other so much. That's ultimately what I would love
Sure.
to see come out of a good narrative that results in people using language that is inclusive. And I don't mean to say that in like a DEI sense, but literally, like, I don't want a president anymore who tries to get us to hate each other. And that is, ultimately what I'd like to see.
Yeah, we're not about hate.
No.
We're not about hate here. And as our super gay friend George, who you could see on various episodes, if you look at our past episodes, which I got to get him back on. I've reached out to him, but he's
Doesn't he
probably
have a
busy
kid?
as hell.
He's super gay.
He is super gay, and he will claim it, like whatever. I will say that it's the only gay interracial wedding that I've ever been to, and I had a fantastic time. It was such a fun wedding. We stayed over the night at their house after the wedding. It was fantastic. I was smoking weed with black grandparents that were just like, and like after the wedding, you're all drunk or whatever, and you get in here and you got like 4 black like grandmothers like trying to feed you nothing but just food, honey, food. They're so hospitable. It was fantastic. It was one of the best times I've ever had. But yeah, George has been on the show many, many times, and he said basically the same thing as you did, Becky. Like he like just needed this. He needed conversation. He needed conversation with people to keep him grounded, and it's good. It's good to talk. It's good to meet new people, talk with new people. And now that we're doing the video calls, you guys can do this from the comfort of your home. That just makes it even better. We can talk to anybody all around the world. So
and you could always have me over to get drunk sometime, and then you can really get my viewpoint.
And that's fine. And you know what? Currently, right now, I shoot nothing live for that reason. Like, seriously. I mean, I've been sitting here chugging beers while we're talking. I always do.
And I'm like, I have a wedding tomorrow. I probably would have also been.
No, I mean, we will definitely have some in-person shows as well.
Am I getting married tomorrow?
No, God, no. My eldest niece is getting married, so I got to start watching the next generation become the new generation.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's
That's
real
always
weird.
fun.
Yeah,
Luke,
I think my daughter's next.
Old Luke, do you have any final thoughts on this episode, sir?
Yeah, no, I think it's absolutely just beautiful that we can sit here and talk and ask questions, and then plant a seed of something for you to look into, kind of see it from the other side of, I don't know, the other side of whatever you want to call it. You
realize we're not radical that much on either side.
Yeah, no, I mean, because it sounds like we all really want the same thing. Like, we want better healthcare, cheaper, if free. You know what I mean? We want more of our checks. We just want to be able to live. You know what I mean? And I really think that's the message that probably needs to be driven.
I mean, personally, I would like smaller government. I would like smaller government, not larger.
No, absolutely. You need term limits, dude. You need wage limits. That's why they're in there. Once once your term's over, your wage stops, and now your ass goes back out and gets a fucking job like the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then you live in what you built.
I agree.
Absolutely. No, I think it's a blast talking to Becky and then talking to Luke. It's always good talking to you, Joe. It's just the way I see it, man. It says, just be the change that you want to see. Start there.
Sure, man.
Start the conversation.
It's like when you really bring it down to like the brass tacks. It's like we all just want to love and live our lives, and just not be bothered too much. And
sure.
I would say for the guys who do lean right, if you could do me a solid favor and look up next week. Look up and see how many people are actually out for the No Kings protest, so you can get an accurate idea of how many people are out there protesting on these days.
You got a date?
October 18th.
Yeah, that's the next one.
Just October 19th. Just go look up and see, not any of the right wing, not any of the left wing, but just the solid numbers, 50, 51 are indivisible, and see those numbers because it's not getting published, and it may give you guys a little insight as to how many people are out there trying to make these changes.
Yeah, no, I definitely appreciate the info. I'm definitely going to look into it.
Dude,
it's just about the changes they're trying to make and making sure their voice is heard.
Sorry.
What's that?
Or like we were supposed to like go up in the sky.
We did miss it. No, we lost. We did not. That was
go
last
up in the
week.
sky. Oh yeah, no, that didn't really happen. Yeah, I was waiting.
This is another one.
We can still pray for 3-Eye Atlas. I mean, there's still a possibility that comet's coming and it's actually aliens. I'm rooting for it, to tell you the truth. Maybe they're coming here to tell us we fucked up.
That will be another good conversation. That shit's got wild.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Well, with that, guys, I want to say thank you so much. And I forgot to note, Becki, you are our first female on this show.
Hey, because I'm loud and annoying.
Congratulations. I mean, trust me, it's not from lack of reaching out, but yeah, definitely, you are the first female on this show. I definitely plan on having more. I actually have a couple of transgender friends. We're gonna have some episodes on that. I hope that I'm open enough to, that like certainly there's been some right-leaning posts that I've made on this show that on the very last show I apologize for. I don't mean to make this show right-leaning. I know my views might be right-leaning, but that's not what this show's supposed to be about at all. And I do have transgender friends, and obviously that's an issue. So I would like to talk to them about that and have some of them on. They've already agreed to come on. And then we stopped doing the show like 6 months ago. So now that it's back up and running, I'm going to reach back out to them. And then hopefully we're going to be able to have a conversation just like this, civil conversation, breaking apart some of those issues and just some of those, problems that, everyday Americans have. And then we could see that, at least from my experience, they're just normal people and maybe not normal to you. And I know I've said a lot of things and I have a lot of questions too. And a lot of people have a lot of questions. So I'm just going to ask those questions is my plan and ask them with a good heart, and hopefully they'll accept them like that and not as bigotry, because I don't mean it that way, so just like to have a real conversation. So that's it. I'm just normal everyday people having everyday conversations. I want to thank you guys so much for coming on, and with that, this has been the Madhouse Show. This has been me, your host, Joe Maddock, Luke Robinson over there, Luke Kuhlenberg over there, and Becki Benz over there. And I want to thank you guys so much for coming on. You're more than welcome back on the show anytime. And we're going to talk to more people, and we're going to have, have more conversations like this. So thank you so much, guys.